We get started here with Coach Ciarrocca. If you guys want to go ahead and raise your hand. First question, we'll go to Fooch.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Doing great.
Just something that sticks out for you about this group, from, let's say, the summertime to now, you've been able to appreciate.
Yeah, I think their commitment, and how accountable they are to each other. Every day they give me an honest day's work. Every day they come out and chop. So I feel blessed to have a chance. I told them before the last game, that it's been a really fun year for me, and they're the reason. How hard they've worked and how they all want to be coached. It's great. It's a lot of fun.
We'll go to Bobby Darren next.
Coach, congratulations on the contract extension. Just wanted to ask you about that, your reaction, and what went into you wanting to be here for the long haul.
Well, I think first of all, thank you. Second of all, I just enjoying myself. We've got a great group of guys to work with. I love being around Coach. I've always enjoyed talking to him and working with him and pulling in the same direction with him right now has been a lot of fun for me. And the players, the culture that he has developed here, I love being around those players. They're energizing to me, the way they come out every day and just keep chopping. So, what does it mean to me? I don't know. I mean, it's great to be wanted, I guess. But at the end of the day, we all have a job to do, and we know we get judged on how we perform on Saturdays. So I don't get caught up in all that other stuff. But I'm enjoying myself, really having a great time, and look forward to us getting this program where we all want it to be.
Go Michael Cohen next.
Hi, Coach. How you doing? Quick question for you. Just talk more about the development of Kyle Manana guy and just the season he has had this year, leading the Big Ten in rushing. Just your thoughts on his efforts this year.
Yeah, he's really done a great job. I think that really developing. I think you got to give Coach Shaw a lot of credit, and then you got to give him the credit. And then if you're going to give somebody else the credit, you would talk about the offensive line and the tight ends, blocking. But he's really developed. He's always been a very intelligent player, but it's one thing to know information. It's another thing to be able to apply it to the particular play. And he's done a great job with that. I think that he probably grew a lot from watching himself the year before and seeing what worked for him and what didn't, what allowed him to be at his best. He ran violently this year, and that's, besides his intelligence and his vision and all that, I think that's something that he needs to make sure that he just keeps doing. And he's worked really hard in the weight room. JB's done a great job there. But again, give him the credit. You got to do the work, and he's always willing to do the work. So super happy for him. He's a great kid, and all the accolades he's getting, he deserves.
Thank you.
Go to Brian Fonseca next.
Hey, Kirk, you guys hosted a transfer portal quarterback this weekend on a visit. I know you can't speak specifically about the prospect, but the fact you guys are pursuing a quarterback out of the portal, what does that mean for Gavin Whimet?
Yeah, I think that's something that you need to talk to Coach about. Obviously, I can't comment on anybody that's not signed. Gavin's just going to keep working hard and keep getting better.
Go to Chris Eisman next.
Kirk, can you kind of just talk about what you saw from the offensive line throughout the course of the season and kind of Coach Ciarrocca talked a lot about the incremental progress that those guys made. Where do you feel like this unit can go next season, and where do you feel like the biggest improvement needs to be made for them to be successful and for your offense to be successful?
Yeah, I think the improvement it's like the offensive linemen are chasing the Holy Grail. That you can always have lower pad level, you can always have better footwork, and you can always have better feet with everything you do. And so you're always talking about they got to be lower, they got to have their hands inside better, strike better with it. But they did make tremendous improvement, and the kids just kept working and working. And our run schemes, it's not a deal where you memorize who you're blocking. You've got to understand the concepts and what the reactions are to the defense. And I think when people first learn anything, they memorize it first, and then they start to understand it, and then they master it, So those guys definitely went from memorizing to understanding it, and that'll help them play better. And now, hopefully, as we move forward, they're going to be working on mastering it, which will allow them to play even a little bit better. But, Coach Flats has done a great job. And again, you can be the greatest coach in the world, but if you don't have a willing pupil, it's hard, and those kids have done a great job. They've been eager from the first day we got here, to learn and to learn how we want to do it here and how we want to play now. So again, the kids that, I give them a lot of credit because they were kind of a group that was, the perception of that group, maybe when I got here, wasn't the greatest. And they've battled through adversity. Every time they've been knocked down, they were able to get back up again and keep learning. So I'm super proud of them and glad to see that people were recognizing, that we had the leading rusher in the Big Ten, and he can't do that by himself. So, but I'm also excited about, where they can go in the future.
We'll go to Pat Lanny next.
Hey, Kirk, I heard you say earlier, obviously you're ultimately judged by what you guys do on Saturday. Just wanted to hear your thoughts about your own assessment of how the offense went this season and how you would kind of grade yourself.
Well, I think first you look at, the season's not over yet. So, but what I always do every January is I sit down and as I start to watch the cut-ups, I think, did we get these guys to play to their ability level? And to be honest with you, it's never been, yes, 100%, right? But some teams are a little bit, you get them a little closer to their ability level than other teams. And, that's really kind of my scoreboard, is how I try to look at things. I am going to be judged by my superiors based on how many points we score and how many games we win. I know that, but I'm not going to judge myself like that. And so it's really be more in January. Did I come here to go 6-6? No. Okay. I'm not fully committed to anything to be 6-6. I came here to win championships and to build an elite level offense, and we're not there yet. Am I proud of the progress we made? Yes, I am. Am I proud of the way the kids have responded? Yeah, I definitely am. But I also know that there's, a long way to go to get to where we want to be and where I plan on taking them when I came here. Better, that's a coach says it all the time. Better is a relevant term, so we got a long way to go, but I am proud of what they've accomplished. I'm proud of what we accomplished as a team and a program. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of meat left on the bone. And I told the guys that, after the Maryland game, I'm disappointed, but I'm not discouraged. And I'm excited about where we can go, because I see that what we can do. And you're going to go to your position meetings right now, and you're going to see it too, how we can get better. And at the end of the day, that's really what Chopping's all about, is making sure we get better every single day. That's what we control. And again, coach has done a great job with the culture here. These kids believe that, and they put the action behind those words every day. So we'll get there when we get there. I wanted it in the Northwestern game, but it wasn't there. I've been doing this long enough that, you see signs at different times that you're moving in the right direction, and there reaches a point where you absolutely know you're moving in the right direction and it's going to happen. You don't know exactly when though, but it's going to happen. It's not if, it's when, and then it just, when they're ready, it happens.
Go to Bobby Darin next.
So can you assess the season performance of Gavin Whimet, and where do you think he is in his overall development as a quarterback?
I think Gavin's a guy that's come a long way since January. He's improved every day. I think Gavin, if he was sitting here right now, would tell you that, he needs to be more consistent, with it. But like any young quarterback, he had some highs and we had some lows, right? And then we had a where we were just kind of in between that, with it. So it's for me, it's normal growing pains that you see in a young quarterback. The important thing is that he just keeps working hard and keeps learning from his mistakes and moving forward. He's got a ton of ability. So we just need to see how he continues to grow.
Got time for a few more. Brian Fonseca.
Yeah, Kirk, Gavin had the lowest completion percentage among qualified FBS quarterbacks this season. Did his accuracy struggles impact you, what you can call, and just did it limit the offense?
I don't know. I don't think that's really relevant. I think offensive football is the ultimate team game. And there's 11 guys that are totally interdependent upon each other. And that's why when you see really good offensive football, it's a beautiful thing to watch. But one guy's a little off here, one guy's a little off there. I mean, it can be ugly to watch, hard to watch sometimes. So I wouldn't say anything is one particular player's fault that we played a certain way or how we did it. I think that you as an offensive coordinator, I think one of my strengths is I look at what the strengths and weaknesses are of the players that we have and try to mold things around their strengths and limit their weaknesses. And then you also try to think about what's the whole team. I think coach is one of the the best I've ever been around at being able to assess an opponent and have a picture for how he feels like the game needs to go. And I always relate it to like a boxing match. It's going to be a boxing match. How do you want the fight to go in order to give yourself the best chance to win that particular fight? Do you want to pin this guy against the ropes? Do you want to dance around the ring? And I think coach is as good as anybody I've ever been around. And that was one of the things I learned being with him the first time, is the whole idea is to win the game on Saturday. We don't get anything extra for having way more yards than somebody else or anything like that, but it's nice. Believe me, I'm not giving them back. But we got to score one more point than our opponent, and I wouldn't say it was every position, every area, everybody needs to grow, for us to get to where we want to, including me and our coaching staff. And we've got a great coaching staff, but we understand that. We're all learning every single day, and that's what's going to help us become the best we can be.
Final question. We'll go to Bobby Darren.
Look, you brought in a lot of wide receivers in this freshman class. We saw Ian Strong and a few guys a little bit, but having to work with them over the course of this season, what kind of role do you expect those guys to play next year in this wide receiver group?
Yeah, I'm really excited about the young wide receivers we have in our program. I was just talking with, Coach Brock the other day about it, and, they're at a certain point right now and they keep getting better and better. And you got to see a couple of them, and a couple of them had some injuries as the year went on, or you would have seen them too, but it's where can we get them by next September, and that's what our mindset has to, we had a great 7 practices, developmental practices leading up to now. And I saw growth there, but we're going to need to sit down in January and really put together a great plan for how can we get them to where we need them to be by September of next year. But I'm really excited about their talent, excited about their work ethic, and just see where they can go. But I do think we have a chance to have some special players at that position. I'm sure of it. I just don't know when, but we need to be there by September.
Great.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach, for your time today.
Thanks. Great to see everybody. Happy holidays.